I did half a tab yesterday and realized why psychedelics, especially LSD, are illegal. Because people would realize they are all being had and there would be murder in the streets. We are being had by a monetary system that enslaves us. We are being had by employers that exploit our labor. We are being had by corporations that steal our identities and then have the balls to sell them back to us through consumption of meaningless goods and services. We are being had by our partners who waste our time in meaningless relationships and rob us of our years. We are being had by our friends who use us to feel better about themselves. We are being had by our parents who stifle our growth in the name of protecting us. We are being had by religion that robs us blind fiscally and more importantly spiritually. Keep your eyes peeled, people. There are grifters all around you. People riding your coattails to meet their ends. If we want freedom, then free markets are the only way out. Not the duplicitous tyrannical enslaved capitalist system we are in now under the guise of a free market. Every interaction you have is based on the idea of free markets. From your interpersonal relationships to your job. If free markets truly existed currently the way politicians and corporations would have you believe, then those very entities would not exist presently by their own logic. #AFREEMARKETISWHEREGOADANDBADIDIASALIKCOMETOLIVEANDDIE. This is the only true way to salvation. Every single person on the planet needs to be empowered in themselves and their own personal bargaining ability in all levels of life. Freedom isn't free. There are dogs waiting at your door to come and take what's yours. Free yourself. Do not play their game. Say no to everything that is illogical. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk _TM. I really don't think there would be a revolution if acid was legal. Free markets lead to monopolies which are bad. Free market is the only way out. LSD can't teach you everything. Cold sweat smile. I realized, the reason this shit is illegal is because it can quickly turn you into a psychotic person who thinks they know the world inside and out because drugs, and then you turn into this fucking shell of a person talking about spirituality all day while huffing paint thinner. Don't be that guy. You don't need LSD to realize any of that. I was writing this until you ruined it with that dead meme at the end. Our labor is being stolen. Free market is the only way out. Big oof, cringe. This guy got enlightened. Wall Street Silver. Thank you. Yup, all these thoughts made me stay away from acid. The more you take, the stronger these thoughts get. It's fun, but after a way it's anxiety inducing and life doesn't hit like it used to. Damn, full score. Okay, sign. True shit. Haven't did mushrooms in a long time and haven't tried LSD. I am sensitive to these things. If I had a trip sitter, might consider if I am in a very warm and welcoming place. Folded hands. But that is all true. Glad you shared the epiphany that you had. So awesome. Every system is made up. But it helps organizing billions of people. I think you are wrong in your conclusion. There would be murder in the streets if we all stopped believing in these systems at the same time. Psychedelics just let you observe these systems more clearly. They had us in the first half, but a free market? Think humans are a kind enough for that it's utopic to think that would work. Change my mind, don't downvote. Please. Phew. Imagine the results if OP had done a full tab. Next trip you'll realize it all doesn't matter. You blame all this on other people but don't take accountability for allowing yourself to be exploited by others. Facts. Raising hands, light skin tone, high voltage, white heart, 1 glowing star. Med just a rehash of 60s mentality. Lol, stick it to the man. I mostly agree with what you're saying and have came to many of the same realizations through psychedelics and meditation. The only real fork in the road being I don't think everyone would start murdering each other or become super violent, and I was originally more economically aligned with a libertarian mindset, free markets and all that. But acid and such made me realize a more communal or collective system would be to the benefit of humanity. Whatever we're doing now though, corporatism I would call it, is definitely not it for sure. The only thing that would happen is that people would stop chasing the buck and probably live more frugally. Didn't Steve Jobs do acid? He was still a greedy motherfucker. I realized humanity is a consciousness farm and kept under illusions of freedom and choice when they're just psychologically manipulated. Free market never have been free, because they are inherently incapable of it. Our current mainstream economic principles are literally based on religious faith. Adam Smith refers to the invisible hand of the market as, none less than the hand of God. You are being had if you think free market serve anyone except the people with shit to sell you. If it is liberation you are after, I suggest you study the philosophies of actually successful people's liberation movements. Marxism would be by far the most widespread and applicable place to start. You're generalizing. By assuming your subjective experience of psychedelics, which seems to be very philosophical and anti-system, is also felt by everyone else. I have had those types of revelations, but more as a concept of society working as a new being, like an ant colony, and making decisions that harm the individual, us, in favor of scientific and economical progress for the society. I don't need acid to tell me any of this. It's all out there, you just have to want to see it. Watch the first episode of Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia and you will realize most of these man-made drugs are directly made to make people who think for themselves to be more docile and easier to control. Not particularly LSD. There is either nothing here or just this link. Welcome to the club, bro. Yeah man, it's sad when I just realize it. But you go live your life, my man. You can't do anything that's out of your control. Okay, well, I see some of your points but they're half missing. We are being had by our friends who use us to feel better about themselves. I've had a friend or two over the years like this. Everyone is doing it a little bit. But a lot of people actually care about their friends and other people. Similarly with your other conclusions, you're forgetting some nuance. And just flat dead wrong to think that a free market wouldn't just end up with gangster warlords and slavery. Like we used to have. LSD helped me realize that I was one of those leechy friends. Damn. You had me until you tried to said personal relationships are being had, too. Not healthy meaningful relationships, my dude. Human connection makes people stronger. It helps you see through the veil when there is a strong connection with another soul. The rest you said is true. But you gotta play the game of whatever matrix you're a part of, man. You can play the game by your own rules and try to effect positive change. Scissor. Oh, wait till you get to the nothing is good or bad, it just is. Let it be phase of LSD. I would disagree with this only because my brother has done DMT and he is still a Q-tard cultist. His experience was scary, he said. I told him it's because his psyche is a hellscape of extreme delusions and paranoia. The comments are mixed on this and I fall right in the middle. Sure, I agree that capitalism perpetuates exploitation of cheap labor and selling items for whatever companies get away with and still be able to live with themselves. In many cases the ethical bar is low. But personally I have loving parents and loving relationship and loving friends. Everyone's experience is unique, but if you feel that those around you are negatively impacting you, I'm glad that psychedelics brought you that awareness and I hope you handle that information appropriately and don't fight fire with fire but rather with love and understanding. Look into anarchism, man. Ah, fellow acid communist. I mean we would agree on some of what you said. But that doesn't mean it's true. Psychedelics are just a medicine. Thought remain thought, not someone's else. Now that consciousness changed and you saw something hidden in mind clearer, it's not the time to start pointing fingers, you should understand why you thought so. There's bad stuff as there's good stuff depending on a certain perspective, so you are watching from a bad perspective and you think that society nowadays is bad. The question is why do you see it this way and what lead life to see it this way? Questioning thoughts after a psychedelic session is good to better understand yourself. Welcome to being awake, my dude, call me hand light skin tone. You did half a tab bub chill tits. All I see here are facts. I think the automatic drugs bad mindset still grips the majority of the nation unfortunately, and that's why. Only thing I really disagree with is, say no to everything that is illogical. Big things that come to mind are creative stuff like music and art which I feel don't really involve logic. I use those kinds of things to get away from logic a lot of the time. Why are people getting so offended politically? These are just this individual's views and thoughts. Nah, it was more about criminalizing people protesting war, police violence, racism in the 60s and continues on to the current day. Well, it sounds like you have a lot of resentment for who you're dating or have dated. I have none of that. To put your experience on everyone else is a bit odd. Maybe you have a shit job you don't like. Doesn't mean that I do though. Facts, dude. Gotta love it when a new comrade emerges from a trip black flag.